I was laying around playing on Facebook and I came across something that is something I really wanted to share. Okay, fear. Fear while flying. I do a lot of flying. As much flying as I can do, I do. I'll put it that way. I've got the opportunity to do it basically at will. There's only been a couple of times I've ever really felt fear. One time I was in an airplane and one time I was on a paraglider. The paraglider. I went into the gray hole. Some of the backstory here. And what was being discussed on Facebook, a guy said he does hard turns and he starts feeling kind of funny in his head when any G-force hits him. And that's something that can kill you in this sport. You usually grind in pretty hard when you G out and get into a spiral that's locked in. That's usually what happens. Some sort of spinning, spiraling maneuver that puts you going at a super high speed down at the ground. And if you pass out and don't recover, you just fly straight into the ground. Maximum speed. It's bad. It's bad and it could kill you. Even if you hit water, it might kill you going at those speeds. So the one time I felt fear, I just come out of my second big SIV course and all I did during that course was just stalls and spins and kind of got tuned into all that. I learned to sat in that course and I went to a fly-in. I was just doing a lot of acro. I was really flexing my acro muscle because I had just learned a bunch of cool stuff and I'd been practicing it a lot. Like where Woody's at now, just doing sats all the time back then. It's funny how I could see how our progression is going down the same path. That's awesome. Anyway, we partied all day in the sky. We were tricks. I was doing spins and stalls and tail slides and just really playing around with the stuff that I'd fresh on my mind that I'd been practicing very recently. And I was doing it over the dirt. Some of it was lower than it should have been. That was a risk I took. Drinking heavily that night and telling stories and going on. And the next morning, everybody got up early to fly. And I went out there I decided I wanted to do more altitude that day. So I went higher and further away from everybody. Kind of got over in a box by myself where nobody was around me. I was trying a new motor wing combination and trying some new tricks like that. I forget which wing I was on. Dang, it's been several years. I want to say maybe it was the Hadron XX. No, it was the Hadron original, maybe? Or maybe I was borrowing a wing. But it was a fast wing, high speed, high intensity wing. And I went out there and I got high and I threw it into a sat and I had a good sat going, but as I came out of it, when I experienced that increase in G's, I was doing I learned to handle G's in an airplane, doing like hard airplane tricks. +6, -4 kind of G's. That was the limits that I pushed myself to without passing out or losing control of the airplane or anything like that. So that's what I know I'm capable of, and I can pull 3 in a paraglider and still think, but this day I was not physiologically sound for acro flight. I was dehydrated and basically that was it. I was dehydrated. I hadn't had breakfast. I didn't have anything to eat, maybe just some coffee, and up I went. It had been 6-8 hours since I had drank. It wasn't so bad of a hangover, but it was more of a dehydration thing that the alcohol was a big contributor to. I mean, I didn't feel bad, but I was having trouble pushing the blood up into my head where it needed to be. And I went down that gray tunnel. But I got out of it. And when I come out of it, it was enough G's that it killed the motor. Motor died and I was barefooted and I landed out in a farmed area of dirt with some little grass stubble. Nothing bad. Had to just kind of get my composure for a minute. That had just happened. And I'd experienced fear, man, that I was fixing to go out. I didn't. But it scared me. I don't get scared usually flying, but that was some real fear that happened in the moment that I actually had to think about afterward. And I decided I'm not doing any acro when I feel like that ever again. If I know I'm dehydrated, I kind of skip that self-evaluation type thing. It's one of those things that people get killed from it sometimes. And that scared me that I let myself make that mistake, I guess is what it all boiled down to in the end. But I thought about sharing that. Thought it might help somebody. I don't know. I'm wearing these glasses because that light's really bright when I don't have them on, and I don't want to be all, it's so bright. So that's that, y'all. Oh, the airplane deal, I save that for another time. I experienced fear another time. Somebody remind me of that in the future. Yeah, that's that. That's the story on that, guys. Much love. Kyle out.
Your mama told me, said, well, you just become an overnight YouTuber. And I said, what do you mean? She says, well, I see you almost every night when I look. I said, where are you seeing me? On Kyle's videos.